Welcome to Spotlight News. Today you are here with me and I'm going to talk about legal issue in Malaysia called Peaceful Act. The threat of terrorism in Malaysia seems to be overestimated. Perhaps the Malaysia public seem have already made the assumption that this country would be not involved in with this kind of calamity for the world. In reality, this phenomenon is not new for Malaysia. Furthermore, with the current political issue, whether from local or global perspective, it is not to be possible for this country to experience with this kind of threat soon. In order to face with this kind of new epic of human destruction phenomena, we should take a step ahead. Maybe the best action is to prepare with structured plan in dealing with this issue. In order to have effective plan, the user public should actively involve and how great the involvement of the public in Malaysia's situation is still unclear. Today I'm here with Mr. Pawan Wasimasikun, the Malaysia Desk Officer at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Do you think arresting the terrorists can solve the problems?
Well, I think this answer is quite easy to answer because it's there have been arrest attempts of a terrorist, doesn't matter ISIS or whoever, and it hasn't stopped them, and the momentum just grows, and now it's reaching Southeast Asia. It's just one of the regions that has been perhaps more secluded to the terrorist attacks, and I think arresting them and trying to destroy them, they pop out more. So I think no to answer your question.
How does these incidents affect Malaysia's stability within the countries?
Well, in the past, we have always known that ISIS were coming to Malaysia to perhaps cause terrorist attempts, but this is one of the first successful ones. And previously they've declared war. I'm not sure if you've seen the video that they're saying that ISIS is coming to Southeast Asia, particularly Malaysia and Indonesia, and it has been successful. I think people are more scared now, and Malaysia has recently upped their security measures to perhaps at the airports or at the immigration wherever, to make sure that it's harder for anybody to come in without being screened, to see into the history that they're not terrorists.
And from the incidents in Malaysia, what do you think will happen in the futures?
Well, I can't really say, but I don't think it's gonna get any better. I think it's a start with them, So I'm sure they have more attempts onto this, and how successful the government agencies in stopping these attempts is, it's unknown. And if the momentum grows, then it'll be harder for them to stop these attempts.
Okay, first let's talk about legal issue. The right to peaceful protest and what the Constitution say. The Peaceful Assembly Act 2012 is the law which regulates public protest in Malaysia. According to Barisan National Government, the act allows citizens to organize and participate in assembly peacefully and without arms, subject to restrictions deemed necessary and in interest of public and other security. So let's see what Prime Minister will say. Prime Minister Najib Razak promised multiple reform initiatives on his Malaysia Day, including repealing the Internal Security Act and abolishing permits for the print media. The PPA has strongly criticized by the opposition, which say that the new law, if passed, will crack down on the right to protest instead of safeguarding it. The Bar Council and various civil society leaders have also spoken out against the act. While debating the law in Parliament, Najib described it as revolutionary in nature and a giant leap in terms of improving on current law. Two government members of Parliament have hailed the proposed act as the step forward, the government becoming more accepting of public assembly. So, about the conflict opinion, is there a right to peaceful protest? These rights are not unconditional because the government has an interest in maintaining peace and public order. It may restrict some protest activity in certain way. The right to protest is a long-standing protection afforded by the U.S. and Texas Constitution, and this in Malaysia we have a law that regulates. On 2012, this right is contained both in the freedom of speech and in the freedom to assemble, which protect not only ability to verbalize, protest, and engage in symbolic speech such as wearing an armband, but to arrange peaceful march and protest on certain public land. In my opinion, this is goes as long as it's peaceful, but if there's something more, the law will take actions on this. This information is critically important because the plan, if exists currently perhaps being developed to deal with this kind of situations, are based on expert assumptions about what people would be concerned and how they would behave based on previous experience. If government assumptions about the public were wrong as they have been in the past, the plan which developed will not work as expected, and a large number of people who should be protected will unnecessarily. The preliminary work includes sharing idea, information, and conversation with government and private sector partners, and with an extensive review of literature to identify the critical assumptions about the public on which current plans are based, to identify a frame of reference for thinking about disaster preparedness. Planning among general public should be done extensively. On second thought, perhaps a study which uses scenarios that put people in disaster situations should be implementing. During this study, the public will be asked what they would be likely to hear about the attack and be told what to do, with the objective to expert people's interest with respect their community disaster planning and activities.
Thank you for watching Piyaporn Thipanath Report.